this. This training will be, as soon as we're done, I'm going to keep the slides will stay out on CARS under other documents. It's under training, Q&A, and handouts. So the slides will stay there, like the verification slides. And then hopefully by tomorrow, we may have this up in OK Edge Next Thought for those who still want to get the credit for attending this. You can do the self-paced, or if your electricity goes out or whatever happens, this still will be available. This training will be, again, once we have more guidance, we will definitely get that out to you. But right now, we just thought we would go ahead and do this webinar just as the step-by-step of how to do the low income report. That way, if we have to do it, we've done the training and we're good to go. Okay, let's see here. If I can get my slides to go. Oops, there we go. Okay, so the district will need to submit their October claim. The thing is right now, since a lot of you are doing SSO, which is great. But once you do your October claim is usually whenever the low income report does become available. I do know with our system, it is set up with the NSLP. So again, we have no guidance. I know a lot of you are doing SSO, but once you usually do your October claim is when you go in to do your October report. But once usually the October claim has been processed, that's when the report does open up. But again, I know a lot of you are doing SSO and the low income report is tied to the NSLP claim. So we may have to do some crazy step this year with that. But again, usually in a normal year, once your October claim is processed, that's when you'll go in to do your low income report. So again, once you file your October claim, that's when you'll have access. So those who go into your low income report are your free reduced eligible students that are currently enrolled. They have access to at least one meal and the number of enrolled students on site. That's who will be put into the your low income report. We will talk a little bit about the economically disadvantaged forms, but that's just a big reminder that those children that receive the economically disadvantaged form, we'll talk about it again, they do not go on this report. That will go to your regional accreditation officer. So this is only for those that are not economically disadvantaged. It's only those that are on your free reduced eligible rosters. Again, those economically disadvantaged forms, those go to your RAO. So the big thing with the low income report and why a lot of times you have to redo, say your claim is a lot of times after you submit your claim, then we'll have you go back through and readjust your claim is because it is important that your free, reduced, and paid numbers on the low income report, it must match your October claim. Now, I do understand that with the low income report, so it goes based on your highest free and reduced for the month. And I do know that they usually do consolidated, but last year I think they did like October 1st numbers. But a lot of you, when you do your claim, will have to go back in after you do your low income report and adjust your claim because it won't let you submit your low income report unless your eligibles on your claim and your eligibles on your low income report match. So it's really important. And again, the due date is November 30th of 2020. Again, we have no guidance. I'm going through this as if it was 2019, just because we have no guidance, again, with the low income report, if anything's going to change. But in normal times, November 30th is the date of when the low income report is due. Now, if you are provision, I'll go ahead and say that now, as we'll talk about it again later. But we did not get information from the enrollment for our provision schools until mid to late December. So some of you won't be able to do a report until we get our information from the enrollment office. So for those provision schools, you cannot do your low income report until we get your enrollment from the WAVE. We can't do anything until we get that information, then we will put it in the system for you, which again, we'll talk about here in just a moment. So Again, the economically disadvantaged forms, if a district has one or more sites that are provision, you can collect the economically disadvantaged form. That is for your title funds. Economically disadvantaged, those students will not go into your, it's not ran through child nutrition, so they will not go on the report. Those again will go through your RAO. The economically disadvantaged forms, what those are is, again, it can't have anything to do with child nutrition, but it does give you extra, gets you those extra students so you can get more the title funds, title money. So where will you go to do your low income report? You'll log into the system. It's in the checklist. Again, right now it's not open. And again, once you file your October claim and it has been processed, is usually when that opens up. We'll have to see what happens this year of how we get that opened up, because many of you are not filing your claims through the NSLP. You're doing it through SSO. So again, we're all kind of in uncharted territory right now. But again, once you usually file your October claim, that is when the low income report does open up. Remember, when you must complete a claim for each accredited site under your school district. That luckily will help it makes doing this low income report much easier, since you have to do that. The October claim must include all the number of free and reduced eligible students and paid students who have access to a meal. And remember, this is the highest number eligible for the month of October. And this is a look of what your claim looks like. Again, it's very common that once you do your claim and then once you go in to do your low income report, you may have to go in and adjust your enrollment for your claim. Again, it's very common. We pay you based on meals. We don't pay you based on your eligibles. So it won't mess anything up if you have to go back in and change that information. So we do have instructions. It is on page C138. You'll complete the form for each accredited site. When you enter your information on the website, verify the site number and names are correct. If there's any discrepancies, please contact our office. Please indicate your grade span. And then if you are opening a new site, please contact the accreditation section before you do the new site to this form. So if you do have any new sites and you're not seeing them, please make sure you contact accreditation. So again, your counts must be reported by site. If you have one cafeteria and it serves more than one site, you do have to report it separately, which you do that with your claims as well. And every accredited school site must include any non-accredited students. So you'll make sure that you split that up. So this is what it looks like once you enter your low income report. So what you will do is in column 1, you will put the site name. You'll just use the drop-down box. In column 2, you'll do your low and your high grades for that site. In column 3, you'll enter your total enrollment from ages 5 to 17. And again, this is the instructions for that when we were looking at the slide. So again, column 3 is your total enrollment. That will include your free kids, your reduced kids, and your paid kids. But you can only have ages 5 to 17 as the month of October. So if you have a child that is 4 but will turn the age 5 in the month of October, or if you have a child that was 17 but may turn 18 in the month of October, you can still count them in ages 5 through 17. And again, this is the information for those kids that are eligible. So again, age 4 and under will not be listed. But if they do happen to turn 5 in the month of October, you can include them. So and again, if they're 17 in the month of October and turn 18 in the month of October, you can count them. But if they turn, say 18 in the month of October, I'm getting my September, then you won't be able to count them. But in column 3, you add all free, reduced, and paid in that column 3 of children 5 through 17. So in column 4, you will enter the number of enrolled children ages 4 and younger who are eligible for free and reduced price meals. In column 5, let me go ahead and go back. I want to go back through the slide. So this is where you can see that information. So in column 4 is where you'll enter under the age of 5. And at that school, you may not have any, so just put a 0 in there. And then in column 5, as you can see, you'll put 5 through 17. And then in column 6, you'll do your 18 and over. And then in the last column, it will be the total of 4, 5, and 6. Now the top line is for your free kids and the bottom line is for your reduced. So your column 3 column will not probably match your totals column would be number 7 that doesn't have a number next to it, because number 3 is all children free, reduced, and paid that are 5 through 17. And the totals are just for totals 4, 5, and 6 of those that are free and that those are reduced. Now, one thing I want to mention that a lot of people do not do, that once they enter this information, if you see in that very last box that says right next to the totals box, it says insert, make sure you insert it for every school site. So once you get done with one, then you'll go back to your drop down box and click on the next school site that you're going to enter your information for, but just make sure that you hit insert. A lot of people do not do that. And so when they go back in, it is blank. So again, went back to that, and I'm going to leave the instructions for the low income. So now let's talk about our provision schools. So just so you guys are aware, for our provision schools, let me get to my slides. Provision schools are handled a little bit differently. The provision schools do have to wait for our office to get the numbers from accreditation for the enrollment. Again, last year we did not get enrollment until December. So it may be a while before we get your October information, because again, and we're talking about NSLP. I know a lot of you are on SSO, even though you are provision. But once we have to wait till we get the accreditation numbers from, or the enrollment numbers from accreditation before you can go in to do your, before you can do your low income report. The district does need to know its current 4-year-olds and under when it comes to provision 2 and provision 3. So make sure you do have those numbers available. You don't have to know, you may know you'll know the students, but you do have to figure out who is below age 5, and who is above age 18. So with provision 2, and if you do want more information about this, you can go to C39. We do have the page numbers in the compliance document of where you can go regarding the low income report. So what you will do is we will do it by configuration. So we'll do your percentages. That's how you'll get your percentages in your 5 to 17. What we'll do is if we have your total number, so say your enrollment is 300 and then you have 10 kids that are below 4, you'll end up doing percentages to figure out your reduced kids, your free kids, and then that percentage that are under 4 years old. We use the percentage that you use for your, when it comes to your provision numbers. You'll use the same formula for your mid and high school to figure your 18s and over as well. So once the free and reduced price eligibles are obtained, the remaining students who are free and reduced would report the total free eligibles minus the 4-year-olds and minus the 18-year-olds to equal the 5 through 17. It gets a little bit confusing, I know, when it comes to provision, but we do end up using your percentages. This will also apply to anybody that is CEP. So again, for provision, to get the 5 to 17-year-old enrollment in column 3, the district will take the current site enrollment for the elementary and subtract out the students who are currently 4 and under at the elementary. If a student turned 5 in the month of October, again, they could count them into 5 to 17. Likewise, again, with the 18-year-olds, if they turn 18 in the month of October, you can count them as well. So before you'll be able to do your low income report, we will let you know when we have received your information from accreditation for your enrollment. And what you'll need to do is you'll need to go to the checklist in CARS and you'll click on if you're provision 2 or provision 3. You'll hit the view details and then the data can be found in the claiming system. So click on the provision 2 or 3 link, click view details and the name of the site. And then once you do that, this is a sample of what it will look like when you get into that checklist, and the instructions will be listed at the top of the page and it will explain how the district is supposed to fill out the form. So we will go ahead and get a little bit into the provision 2. So what you'll do is when we get the information, you do have to go in and approve that information once we get it from accreditation. So you will add the site, select the site from the drop down, and then you'll hit save. Again, you'll click the view details in the row. If it's a new site, you'll be asked to choose the base year for that information. So if you are a new base year, you must enter all the information. And our office might be doing some of this. I know Becky was going to be on this call, but I also know Becky doesn't have electricity. She could explain a little bit more of that to you. But we do definitely make sure that you go in and check some of this information. The site enrollment will be pulled from accreditation, and then you'll hit the Save Base Year button. If you are existing base year, so you are continuing to use the same one that you did in years past, again, you'll hit Save Base Year. And I know this wasn't working a year or so ago, so hopefully we did get it. I think the base year information where it has 2018 in here, I think it was going back, it was just pulling the same year over and over. So in everybody's, it had the same base year, but I think they may have gotten that fixed. So you will look at your current year information. This is the information. It's not displayed until after we have this information. So please enter your current year information. The current site enrollment will be the same as your base year enrollment, and you will not be able to change it until October 1st. But again, some of this information, when we get your enrollment information, again, last year I asked Becky about it before we left the office on Monday, and we did not get any enrollment information till I think like it was after December 10th. So it may still be a while before we get the information from accreditation for your enrollment. And who knows, it's 2020, so who knows what's going to happen. So again, and this is in number 5, your current site enrollment. You will need to enter your current site enrollment for October 1st. Once the enrollment is certified by your authorized rep and approved by the State Department, any months prior claim, that's when you'll be able to. So we don't, what we have done this year is instead of revising your claim, you won't be able to claim until we have this enrollment information from accreditation. But again, I know most of you are doing SSO this year, but this isn't a normal year when you're doing NSLP. So again, once your current site information is in there, you'll just have to make sure that you go in and look at it, and then you will certify the form. And I'm going to check the chat real fast to see if our consultants have been helping. I understand that some of the stuff they may not know the answer to. And if Becky's not on the call, which I know she does not. Oh, thanks. I see Alberta's answering some stuff. So thank you, Becky and Alberta and all the other wonderful, I see that they're answering. So thank you guys. And if there is any information that you see that we need to update on here, please let us know. So now we're going to go through community eligibility. So how do you complete the low income report if you are CEP? So again, you will go to the current year eligibility, your current year information in the checklist, and it's about in the middle of it. It's right above the provision 2 and provision 3. And once the CEP current year information is open, select the school and click on view details to find your October 1 enrollment. If those numbers are correct, use those numbers to complete column 3 of the low income report. So again, make sure if you see any discrepancies, please make sure that you contact our office. You'll contact Nikki for that. Use the free eligibles for each site that have students with 4 and under or 18 and over for the guidelines that we talked about with provision 2 or provision 3. Again, the district will need to know the current 4 and under count and then apply those percentages to the number of 4 and under. Again, the same with those that are 18 and over, you'll have to know how many and we'll use those percentages. To get the 5 to 17-year-old in column 3, the district should take the current enrollment, site enrollment for the elementary, and subtract out all the students who are currently 4 and under at the elementary site. Again, you use the same information if a child turns 5 within the month of October. If a child turns 18 within the month of October, you can still count them in the 5 to 18. Or the 5 to 17 box. And I'm sure you guys do realize this, we talk about it all the time, but the low income report, it does not have anything to do with child nutrition. This is for you to get your funds. The big thing about the low income report, we use this to make sure that this is where they get the information if you're a 50% free and reduced school, if you're over that, so you can be in things for like E-rate. This is where your title funds come from. This is at risk. So a lot of stuff come from this report. So that's why the one reason we wanted to do this, because we don't know what's going to happen, but there's a lot of information that comes from this report. So I'm hoping, I know a lot of you went ahead and did verification because we never still got guidance on that as well. But that's the significance of the low income report is for all your other funds. It's just in the state of Oklahoma, it is by law, it is ran through child nutrition. We use your child nutrition forms. That's why the economically disadvantaged form was added. That's actually what most states do. A lot of states have a separate form for title funds. They do not use child nutrition information at all. They have to get a whole separate form for all the title information, and then child nutrition is its own separate thing. But in the state of Oklahoma, we use our child nutrition forms, but the economically disadvantaged is another form that you can use that has nothing to do with child nutrition. So again, you will not use that in the low income report, but you do give that to your accreditation officer. Once you fill out the low income report and once it is certified, meaning that your October claim and the low income report does match, you do have to print it out and sign it. I believe it is working right now. I think they got it fixed last year. You can print out the form. We have a form in the book that you can use, but you can also print out, I believe it's working this year where you can print it out, but someone does have to sign it. And we do have to have a paper copy in our office. It can be faxed or emailed. The fax number is 521-2239. And again, we have a page on C139. If you want to use that form, I do know that it was broken a few years ago where you couldn't sign it. You could still print it out and sign it anywhere you want, but it didn't look neat. So you can use that form, you can use this one, but you can print it out, the low income report, in the system, and you do have to sign and date it. We won't gold lock it, I believe, until we get that form. And that's the form that we sent to Title I. So I hope this was very helpful. If you have any questions, you can please contact our office or the consultants. We'll answer some questions now, but I do hope you guys found this interesting. Again, we have no guidance regarding the low income report, but we thought we would go over the instructions at least on how to fill it out. This will be on Next Thought OK Edge. So if you do want to go back and do a self-paced training, you will receive a certificate for that. The slides are up in other documents. So you are always more than welcome. If you did not get the slides, I sent them out earlier today, but if you did not get the slides, they are on Next Thought, okay, or they are on